All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakwakwa. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work, true sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Psalms 20 and 7. It says, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our power. Because in the name of the Lord, the true name, which is Yahweh, and his son named Yahweh Shai. Those are the names by we are going to call out for salvation. If we are those elect men, most high willing. You know, but it says some trust in chariots and some in horses. They trust in worldly might for them to escape. You know, but that worldly might, they're doing things of their own accord. It's not going to work out, man. Because there's only one salvation. That's the Lord. Let's talk about how safety is of the Lord. Let's get Proverbs. I think it's 21. Let's go ahead and get that. Proverbs 21. I think this is yeah. Proverbs 21 and 31. It says, "The horse is prepared against a day of battle, but safety is of the Lord." Let's get a little footnote. Deliverance is of the Lord, or salvation is of the Lord, man. So going back to Psalms 20 and 7, it says, some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Save Yahweh, let the King hear us when we call. The King who Yahweh Shai, man. But this just explains to you, what's going to be our salvation, what's going to be our safety in the times to come. And it's not going to be anything that you can do for yourself or anything that you can prepare. Like I said in Proverbs 20, let's get that again. 21 and 31. To the horse prepared against the day of battle. It's nothing that you can prepare for, man. It's nothing that you can physically prepare for. You can spiritually prepare yourself, but you can't physically prepare yourself. There's not enough ammunition or weapons or food or bunkers or none of that. That the salvation, safety is going to be of the Most High. Even though all these elites that build these underground bunkers, the Lord's allowing them to do that. The reason the Lord's allowing them to do that so we can take them out of their little hidey holes and put them into slavery. The minute the Lord's going to go in there and take them out their holes, man. There's a few scriptures that I can get for that. It's Isaiah 29 and Isaiah 2 and 19. It says, they shall go into the holes of the rocks, their bunkers, underground bunkers, and into caves of the earth for fear of the Most High and for the glory of his majesty when he rises to shake terribly the earth. So when they see the calamity starting to hit hard and the Lord coming back and the missiles starting to rain down, because most likely all that's going to be simultaneously, man. They're going to go into the underground bunkers. When they see that time approaching, they're going to hide. They're going to hide there. They're going to hide there. When they see that things are getting pretty drastic and pretty hectic, they're going to hide in those holes, man. Because they understand that the Lord's going to shake terribly the earth. They understand that there's going to be a nuclear missiles, ICBMs, that's going to hit America. And I think it takes like a half an hour for a missile to reach from the farthest point of Russia to America. So when they see that time approaching, they're going to go hide in the underground bunkers. They're going to disappear. There's another one right here. And the Lord's going to allow us to get us out them holes. And basically, retribution and recompense there. Say, behold, I will send for many fishers. And right now we are in the stage of fishing. Let's get the footnote. Fishermen. How should I say? I'll make you fishers of men. Going out there and preaching, teaching to seal the elect. Behold, I will send for many fishers, says the Most High, and they shall fish them. And after what I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. For mine eyes were upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face. So it doesn't matter how deep these Edomites go into the underground bunkers and these little underground cities that they got. You can't hide from the Lord, man. My eyes are upon all their ways. They're not hid from my face. Neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. And we're seeing the proof of that iniquity on a daily basis, man. Esau's getting exposed, and that's just the tip of his iniquity. It goes much farther and much more wicked than that. It says, at first I will recompense iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land, have filled my inheritance with the carcasses of detestable and abominable things. So, we trust in the Lord, and more than that, we trust in the name of the Lord, man. As you read in Psalms 20 and 7. But let's get a few more scriptures. This is Psalms Salakia 33 and 16. It says, there is no king save by the multitude of a host or an army. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. A horse is a vain thing for safety. See, a horse or your might, your own might, or your own power is a vain thing for safety, a useless thing, a false hope. And that's what these Edomites have. They have a false hope, thinking that they can get one over on the Most High, man. It says a horse is a vain thing for safety. Neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. And to hope in his mercy is to call upon his name, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. The scripture says, my servant shall eat. Because there is going to be famine of bread in here in America, man. There's going to be a lack of everything. Because Esau's going to push down hard. It says, our soul waits for the Most High. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted his holy name. And once again, there's a name. Let thy mercy, O Yahweh, be upon us according to we hope in thee. So, the scriptures call us prisoners of hope, man. So we're hoping on that. We don't hope in our own might, our own strength, our own preparation of things. We're hoping on the name of the Lord. And that's the spirit that you got to have as we continue on in these days. Because guess what, man? These are just going to get worse. Just get Isaiah 30 and 16. This is Isaiah 30 and 16. It says, I'll start at verse 15. It says, for thus says the Most High Power, the Holy One of Israel, returning rest, he shall be saved, and quietness and confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not. The Lord has provided a way of salvation and safety. He says, you would not, you wouldn't. Let's get that in the NLT. It says right here, this is what this verse 15, this is what the sovereign Most High, the Holy One of Israel, says. Only in returning to me and resting in me will you be safe. And quietness and confidence is your strength. But you would have none of it. See that? You would have none of it. They're speaking about 2/3 of our people. They want to trust in their own ways, in their own might, their own way of doing things. They don't want to return to the Lord. It says, you said, no, you will get our help from Egypt. And that's going to be 2/3 of our people taking that chip, getting their help from Egypt. They will give us swift horses for riding into battle. They're going to protect us. But the only swiftness you are going to see is the swiftness of your enemies chasing you. One of them will chase 1,000 of you. 5 of them will make all of you flee. You'll be left as a lonely flagpole on the hill, or a tattered banner of distant mountain. So there is no escape from the judgment of the Lord, man. The scriptures also said that he that seeks to seek his life, save his life, shall lose it. Let's go ahead and get that. This is Luke 17 and 33, and it says, this is the NLT, if you cling to your life, you will lose it. And if you let your life go, you will save it. See that? Let's get it in the King James Version. It says, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, So we don't trust in nothing of our own accord, of our own might, our own will. What we do trust is in the Lord, man. The Lord, because the Lord is ultimately the one that controls our life. He controls whether we live or die. He controls, what we do. He controls everything. So we just trust in that, man. That's why prayer is important. That's why, seeking guidance is important. That's why staying in the spirit to the best of your ability is important, man. Because we're coming into those times, man. Best believe. Let's go ahead and get a Revelation 2 and 10. Because it says we're coming into those times. In Revelation 2 and 10. And it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. So it's not promising an easy trip, easy path. It's called a straight gate. But we're supposed to have a confidence in the Lord, a fear not. We're not supposed to fear nothing. That's faith. When you fear not, when you fear no thing, that means you have faith. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. You may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. See that? So that's what we hope for, man. Our goal and our end is our goal, and our we hope to endure unto the end. We hope to be faithful unto death, if that be the case. Because these are happening, man. And if you trust in anything but the Lord, guess what, man? You're already lost. You're already dead. With that being said, just another quick lesson here at the plantation. Most High will and hope is that I'll find them and give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.